All right, so recently on a trip, I was all over Europe, and one of the things I did was I took pictures of different windows and doors I saw on all the old buildings. And then in between activities, when I was waiting, I would pull up the reference photos on my phone and paint those different windows, which was so much fun. There are so many unique windows, and each one has things in common. Obviously, there are some basic shapes, and then every single one has unique details. So kind of fun to see and collect all these pieces and things that create a window. So we're gonna do another window painting today, and I'm gonna be taking some inspiration from these to create ours. I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with this kind of basic idea with the rectangles and then adding the railing in front of it. So it's kind of a window door-esque thing. And of course, as you follow along, you can always change things to make them your own, but that's the one I'm gonna be thinking about. But I highly suggest you do this if you travel or you go somewhere, take pictures of one type of thing and then paint them, because then you create this whole collection in your brain and your muscle memory of how to draw those different things. So let's get started. Now, to start, we've got our basic rectangle shape, which is a great way to create any sort of window or door shape. And knowing that the railing in front of it is only going to be lines, I don't have to worry about drawing around it, because there's not going to be any color covering it up. So I'm going to do my drawing with pen. You can always do with pencil first if you prefer that. I like the bravery of jumping in with pen and just going with whatever lines happen. So if I make a mistake, oh well, I'll roll with it. So I'm just gonna do my pen right off the bat, make kind of a nice big size rectangle. I can always make the next rectangle inside or outside. So this could be the door, this could be the frame on the wall. It depends on how big I make it. I'm gonna have this be the kind of frame of the door that's closer to us, and inside will be that actual glass or window pane. So I'm gonna kind of create the 3D angle by putting those diagonal lines in the corner, and then I'm gonna bring these lines back down to the bottom. This makes it look like this window is inset into this structure and get some 3D edges. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create the other edges of the window. So here now is flat once again, and it's framing our door scene. All right, and then I'm gonna do some of the basic inside. So my window has two main panels of glass. So I'm gonna go ahead and do two rectangles, imagining the center, not going all the way to the center, kind of leaving a gap there, and then doing the second one next to it. This will come easier with practice, but it's something that I've done often enough where I can imagine that center without having to draw a line. And that way my two rectangles are somewhat evenly spaced. But again, if it's not perfect, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna create kind of a base for this door, so a ledge. So I'm gonna create a rectangle at the bottom. Now already I made a line go further than I wanted to, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I think in the end I'll have so many interesting lines that you won't even notice. Actually, and I do actually wanna make this go further now that I think about it, because I want this gate to kind of go across the door. So now I just turned those into some fun designs. Even if they weren't there originally, now they are. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna create some little details up in the top corners here. So I'm gonna make some little rectangles in the corner and maybe imagine that they kind of come off the wall a little bit. So making this kind of S shape, and that'll just kind of make it look like there's this sort of structure that comes and pokes off the wall, makes it like stick out a little bit. Again, keeping my lines fairly loose. I'll do an oval in the middle and kind of make some shapes around it. The more kind of interesting random shapes we create, the more detailed our door is gonna look. So you don't have to copy the ones that I do exactly, but adding these fun little details or things is always interesting. I'm gonna add this sort of texture to the edge of the edge. So this kind of inside edge, I'm gonna just do these lines, almost like a ruler. They're just little dashes. Maybe thinking about, yeah, it could be a texture, it could be a design, just something to break up that big area, big open area. All right, maybe in the center here, I could try to create like a little flower design. I just did 3 little kind of ovals or loops. All right, down here, I'm gonna make this balcony have a bit more structure to it. So I'm gonna add a few more rectangles underneath that are just not as wide. So kind of is triangulating down a little bit. And I'm gonna make it look a little more 3D. So we can see underneath this part, which means we should be able to see underneath this base as well. So I'm going to use diagonal lines to create the illusion that these rectangles come away from the wall that they are on and they stick out a little bit, and we just can't quite see how far out they stick. Now the railing, I'm going to come up from the edge of my platform, a little higher, and just come straight across. Oh, there was a big bump in the middle, but I'm not going to worry about it. I can even do a second line just to kind of pretend to straighten it out. This is when you get that more sketched look when you have multiple lines, which can be really nice. When I was sketching around Europe, a lot of times I was sketching on trains or in cars, and it was very bumpy and wiggly, so I had to kind of embrace that more sketchy look, which happened to be very pretty at the end. Okay, I'm going to divide my railing into some sections. Now, because this railing is not going to have color, it's just like black metal, I'm going to try to make these lines a little bit bolder than the door lines behind it. So I'm either doing 2 lines or I'm pressing a little harder with my pen, but I want them to look different than just the drawing of the door. Now that I have it divided, I ended up using 4 lines. You could do any amount, and then I'm just going to add a design. So you could do your own design. Looking at the doors I was inspired by, I'm going to do kind of an X design between each of these, which is going to be interesting since I'm going to run out of X room because this one doesn't have a second pair. So it's more like a diamond design. And then maybe some circle designs because that's fun. So again, mine is not symmetrical, so if that bugs you, plan out your design better than I did. And then I'm gonna do a second line across the top just to kind of give it more structure, maybe even a second one across the bottom. Oftentimes railings have, an actual top and bottom that's not connected to the ground. I could leave it there. I think I'm gonna do some little circles all along the bottom. These ones I'm not really counting out how many go in each spot. I'm just kind of quickly circling, adding those designs. Maybe I'll do that at the top too, just to kind of match. It's just one of those extra details that makes the balcony look a little more unique if it has those special things. And we can still see the door behind it. When we paint, we'll be able to notice the door behind it even more so. So I think I'm gonna stop there with my drawing. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add some paint on top. And we can always decide to go back with our pen if we want to more. All right. So for my door, I'm gonna start with the glass, and that's gonna be kind of a watered down blue. So I'm gonna wake up my blue paint just a little bit, but it's a lot of water. And with a very watery blue, I'm just gonna kind of wiggle my brush around. I'm gonna be okay if some bits of white paper show because this is glass that, how sometimes the glass reflects light and things out and about. So I'm gonna allow for that to happen where I don't completely cover up all of it. And that might look like there's clouds reflecting in the sky. I have a little bit of darker blue in some spots, so getting a little bit of just the straight paint while it's still wet. And this just gives it that real life idea of there's something reflecting off of the glass. It's not a solid blue. Okay. If I paint right next to it, then the colors could bleed together. So I'm gonna jump to somewhere else and paint that. I'm thinking of doing a sort of tan color for my structure, kind of a stucco. That was the color I saw on a lot of buildings. So I'm gonna be taking some of my brown and watering that down and maybe even adding a little bit more yellow to make it more of a mustardy tan color. So here I've got a little more yellow to my brown, and I'm gonna do this on these front edges. And my paper today is fairly rough. I typically work on a hot press, but this is just some scrap paper I had laying around, and I like to use scrap paper when I'm just playing and exploring different things. And so it soaks up the water pretty quickly if I don't use a lot, which is fine for what I'm doing because I'm just filling in spots. If I was gonna be doing a large wash, that would be a little harder on this kind of paper that I've chosen. So pay attention to what kind of paper you have if you like the way it feels, or if you wanna try something else. I'm gonna use the same color underneath here on this structure that's holding up the door, just by filling it all in. Now I know there are some spots I'll want shadows because I made it look 3D, but I'm not gonna add those shadows until I finish this first base layer. So as you know, for value in watercolor, we layer to make it darker, we add more water to make it lighter. So right now it's the base color. I'll layer it again when it's dry to make it darker. I'm gonna go ahead and do the inside of my door. I'm gonna do more of a brown without the yellow and even a little bit of black, just to mute this color, make it a little bit less warm, and have this be kind of this inside. That looks like a nice shadow. So this should be kind of a shadow to the stucco exterior of the building. So that's why I still wanted some brown to have it feel like related, but not be exactly the same color. It just makes it darker instantly versus waiting and layering. I'm also being careful to not get any paint on the frame of my door or my window, because I'm planning on leaving that white if I can help it. If I do cover it up, then maybe I'll choose a different color for it, but it's nice to leave some bright white in your illustration, especially if you have some white space around it. It will feel more balanced if that white reflects somewhere inside your picture. So I'm gonna plan to have the frame of my door be white. Okay, now I'm getting pretty close. I've got the base layers. All I need to do is go back and add some shadows. So I'm gonna maybe use this same shadow color and put it in these little corners and underneath this balcony base. And already that looks much more shadowed. I'm also gonna do a little bit right underneath each rectangle, as if those are pushed back a little bit. Now I didn't actually draw them that way, but I do like the way it divides up the rectangles. I also think I could adjust some of my shadows a little bit better. Inside here, this top section is going to be the darkest, and then the sides will be a little bit brighter than it. So I'm gonna add a second layer here, and I'm gonna make the shadow go down a little bit, but not all the way down the sides. Kind of down towards the back, towards the door, because that's where it's going into the wall. So adding a little bit more shadow there. It's not super extreme. I could even add a bit more contrast to it. So here I threw a little more brown on my brush just to show more difference. But I think I'm gonna do the same kind of thing to this exterior stucco color. So get a little more brown on my brush. I created these little fun lines that should stick out. So I'm gonna put some shadow underneath them. Maybe I'll add a different tone to some of those designs or details. I could add a few little, just kind of scribbles of paint even, just scratch my brush a little bit just to give it some variety again. I wanna see multiple values in every area as much as I can. All right, these things down at the bottom are not quite dark enough to my liking, so I'm gonna go over them again. Remember, you can always continue to layer till you get to that value that you want. Contrast is important in watercolor because it's very easy to do it once and then it's a very singular value. But adding more and more layers will get you further and further along in the game of contrast, which is gonna make your artwork feel more interesting, more professional, because you've taken time to add that contrast, which even though it's not really about how much time it takes, it also happens to look better if you spend time to add that contrast to each section. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of shadow all along this inside door and just kind of create a little bit of an edge all the way down there. Now, one thing that still looks a little strange right now is my whole door is very bright. And everywhere else I've started to add those shadows. So I do think I need to create some gray for my white door frame, just to make it feel like it's also in shadow. So I'm gonna get a little bit of black, very watered down, not a lot at all. And I'm gonna put some of that gray at the top of the door frame and down a little bit of it. So this is just barely at all, but putting a little bit of gray at the top makes it in shadow, just like this upper part is. There's a shadow getting cast to the inside, but then the rest still has this white. Okay, now, last thing I wanna do is just add a little bit of context. So right now my door is floating in space. I wanna add a little bit of something around it. I'm gonna start by creating, I kinda wanna do a brick design, and so I'm gonna mix some red with my brown to make a much warmer, richer red-brown brick color, because bricks aren't just red and they're not just brown. Now, I've got a nice brush that is kind of flat at the tip, so it's skinny, but it also can make rectangles like this. So I can just pull it across and make a little rectangle. So I'm gonna do some big and some long and some short rectangles kind of right next to this, just to give it that context. This is gonna, right now this already feels a little bit almost more cartoony than I like. I might make it a bit messier once I see how it looks, but I'm gonna just do it all the way so I'm consistent. I'm gonna see what it looks like once I have these bricks all the way around, and then I can decide if I want to mess it up a bit since I've got this more sketch style going for this example. It's okay to be a little messy. In fact, sometimes making it messy actually can look better. All right, I actually turned out to love the cartoony kind of simplistic look where we just see this every other jagged pattern. I was debating on continuing it up top. I think actually now that I think about it, I'm gonna do kind of an arching pattern as if they kind of bricked around the shape of this door. So I'm gonna do some decorative little bricks that are different sizes, just to make kind of like a, I don't know, a detail. It's fun to add details. And then I can just continue the bricks to the side. So that looks interesting. It's got kind of this crown type deal. I kind of tried to make the brick like around the corner, as if they had to kind of cut the brick specially to fit. Not sure if I like that or not, but overall I like the bricks. I'm just not sure about that little corner thing. So there we go, another door/windowy fun drawing. I hope you were inspired by the idea of going and exploring and finding lots of things to paint, and then just practicing over and over again and filling up your resources, your brain, with different things that you could create. So hope you tried this one. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next painting tutorial. Happy painting!